In a heart-stopping instant, metal screams against asphalt as the motorcycle crashes, unleashing a violent burst of sparks that light up the chaos. The rider is violently ejected from the machine, a human projectile tumbling across the unforgiving asphalt as life hangs precariously in the balance. In the stark hospital room, the protagonist lies wounded as faint sunlight barely penetrates the blinds. A friend arrives, bearing a gift of dark intrigue, the King in Yellow. With a mix of concern and hope, the friend offers a chilling read. "I brought you something to read." A chilling read. The King in Yellow. In the gloom of a dimly lit hospital room, shadows dance ominously as the protagonist opens the forbidden pages of The King in Yellow. His eyes lock onto the cryptic text, each word a step deeper into madness. Bathed in the sterile light of the hospital room, the protagonist buries himself in the pages, his curiosity piqued. As he delves deeper, his face transforms, mirroring the enthralling narrative unfolding before his eyes. Lost in the labyrinth of words, a flicker of profound understanding illuminates his features, hinting at a revelation. In the surreal hospital room, a silent dream unfolds, painting a desolate alien landscape beneath a sky pierced by black stars. Twin suns weep into the still waters of the Lake of Hali, their mournful light casting long shadows across the barren terrain. Across this haunting dreamscape, figures in pallid masks glide silently, their presence an eerie ballet of the unreal. In the sterile confines of the hospital room, a storm of inner turmoil brews within the protagonist. In a fit of uncontrollable frustration, the book becomes a symbol of his struggle, hurled violently towards the outside world. The book spirals through the air, a fleeting trajectory of anger and despair, as it crashes through the window and shatters the silence. On a bustling street, the protagonist, marked by a recent injury, retrieves the book from the unforgiving asphalt. He clutches the rescued book to his chest, a look of manic relief etched across his face, as if holding onto life itself. The broken leg serves as a stark reminder of his vulnerability, yet his grip on the book tightens with each painful step. In the dimly lit hospital room, Joshua is engrossed in a worn book, muttering arcane words under his breath as the sterile scent of the hospital fills the air. Lost in the pages, Joshua whispers, "Carcosa, the King in Yellow." As the city slumbers, the boundaries between reality and fiction begin to dissolve within the confines of the hospital room. In a disorienting flashback, a grotesque, yellow-masked figure dominates a dimly lit stage, casting an eerie spell. The audience, an unnerving sea of blurred faces and unblinking eyes, appears hypnotized by the bizarre performance. The unsettling performance unfolds as every movement and gesture of the masked figure intensifies the audience's entranced state. In the sterile hospital room, the protagonist's fluttering eyes signal a descent into a surreal transformation. The mundane reality of the hospital room dissolves, replaced by strange, glowing symbols and intricate patterns that crawl across the walls. The very essence of the book seeps into the room, its pages materializing in a mesmerizing, hallucinatory display. In the sterile confines of a hospital room, a weary doctor's furrowed brow hints at deepening unease. Amidst the sterile silence, the doctor expresses his concern. "Your mental state seems to be deteriorating. I'm concerned about these obsessions." The protagonist dismisses the doctor's worry, exclaiming, "Obsessions? Nonsense! I'm perfectly fine. It's just, the King in Yellow has coming." A chilling declaration echoes in the sterile air, hinting at a descent into madness as the King in Yellow looms. The protagonist awakens not in a hospital room, but in the haunting, timeless city of Carcosa. Masked figures drift through the ethereal streets, their intentions as obscure as their hidden faces. Drawn to a dark pool, its surface like polished obsidian, the protagonist confronts a distorted reflection. The reflection reveals a pallid, unsettling mask, replacing his own face in the depths of the pool. Inside the sterile hospital room, a frantic energy fills the protagonist as they hunch over a worn notebook. The pen dances across the pages, a whirlwind of disjointed phrases and unsettling symbols inspired by the King in Yellow. The chaotic scribblings stand in stark contrast to the cold, clinical setting. In the dimly lit hospital room, the protagonist's intense gaze pierces through the sterile environment, creating an unsettling contrast. His eyes, wide with an almost unnerving intensity, begin to recite passages from a worn book, drawing the viewer into a hypnotic trance. The hypnotic tone of his voice fills the silent room, pulling the viewer deeper into the unfolding mystery. In the sterile hospital room, soft daylight paints shadows that dance ominously, stirring a deep-seated fear. The protagonist, younger and more vulnerable, shrinks back in terror as the approaching doctor seems to embody a looming nightmare. The doctor's mask looms large, a symbol of childhood dread amplified by the unsettling events surrounding the book. In the stark hospital room, a sickly yellow light casts long, eerie shadows as terror grips the protagonist, forcing him into the farthest corner. Eyes wide with primal fear, the protagonist's gaze darts around the room, tracking unseen horrors that torment his mind. Whispering desperate prayers intertwined with venomous curses, the protagonist's trembling body betrays the depth of his despair and defiance. In the sterile silence of the hospital room, the protagonist clutches a book, his pale face a mask of distant thoughts. His grip tightens around the book as his vacant eyes stare into the abyss of his inner world. His face, drained of color, reflects a haunting emptiness as he remains lost in contemplation. In the ethereal realm of Carcosa, the protagonist confronts the King in Yellow, an encounter fraught with otherworldly dread. The King in Yellow extends a hand, offering a pallid mask, a gesture that heralds the protagonist's descent into madness. In the protagonist's eyes, a reflection of the pallid mask hints at the imminent loss of his own identity. An unsettling silence fills the hospital room, where the protagonist's absence looms large. On the neatly made bed, an open book and a pallid mask hint at a hasty departure. The pallid mask rests silently on the open book, a haunting reminder of the story left unfinished. Under the cloak of night, the camera lifts towards the heavens, where stars hang like menacing eyes, hinting at the pervasive dread that the King in Yellow has unleashed upon the city. The city is steeped in shadows, a silent testament to the terror that lurks just beyond the veil of reality.